Day 2 of the Barbados test is complete. Australia's top order wobbled again, but they're halfway to setting a very difficult target here for the hosts. Josh Schonafinger here, joined by Jack Paynter, who's in the Kensington Oval radio boxes at the minute. And Jack, this pitch is not getting any easier for batting, is it?
No, it isn't, and it's not helped by two quality pace attacks as well. We spoke to Mitchell Starc after play, and he was pretty happy to volunteer that the bowlers are bowling well and they're allowed to bowl well. It's not always the batters who are batting poorly, and so that was quite comical. But it's fair enough. Like, the two attacks have been tremendous. You've got Mitch Starc, Pat Cummins, and Josh Hazlewood. They really hit their lengths today, made it difficult for scoring, even though Shy Hope and Roston Chase got 40s. They never really got away from the Aussies. And then in the afternoon, Shamar Joseph again, another brilliant opening spell, and he was supported this time, again by Jaden Seals, and Alzari Joseph bowled really well as well, as did Justin Graves. So, two quality attacks going at it, and helped, by a friendly sporting pitch.
I mean, and nothing against West Indies, but over the past couple of years, if one of their bowlers has had a day out, the rest sort of haven't been able to carry the slack. But across the first 2 days, from what I've seen at least, Jack, those bowlers have worked tremendously well together.
Well, all four got a wicket in the final session today. So all four of Australia's top four fell to different bowlers, which, just showed how much of a team effort it was. They've kind of galvanised under new coach Daren Sammy. They just looked like they made it really tough for the Aussie batters. Even the guys that got in, Cameron Green looked good for a little bit, played a nice on drive, looked like he was getting in. And then was eventually worn down, as was Josh Inglis as well. Like, some relentless bowling on a good length, and he just made a poor decision and for one ball, and he was out. So they've really galvanised well as an attack this test so far.
What was the standout moment from day 2?
It's slightly controversial one as well, but Alex Carey's catch. It was a cracking catch. Bo Webster introduced into the attack. Had already picked up a wicket, got the inside edge of Shy Hope, who's the West Indies top scorer, flew sort of down the leg side towards, fine leg. Alex Carey's dived across to his left, got his left mitt to it, and this is after dropping a catch earlier in the day too. So a bit of a blunder to start the day, but he's come back strongly. Pouches one in the left glove, and it was a great catch, and it stood. The third umpire ruled that it was a fair catch, but there was a lot of deliberation over whether, as he had sort of rolled to the ground, whether his glove had turned and the ball had sort of grasped on the ground. Similar vein to Mitch Starc's non-catch of Ben Duckett at Lords in the 2023 Ashes that many of our listeners might remember. You've got to be in complete control of your body. And if the ball touches the ground when you're not, then it's no catch. But, third umpire ruled that it hadn't touched the ground. Replays sort of appeared pretty inconclusive. It was another one of those ones that could go either way. So a great catch, controversial umpiring decision again. And, that was the sort of moment of the day, because it also got rid of the West Indies top scorer, who was looking pretty sad at the time.
Okay, and it was a big day for the third umpire, South African Adrian Holstock, wasn't it, Jack? I mean, that wasn't the only time he was called into question.
Yes, he was under the microscope. There was plenty of decisions. That one, kind of in comparison to the Travis Head catch that was given not out the day before, where he got an under edge, and third umpire ruled that it didn't quite carry to the wicketkeeper Shy Hope in this instance. So that was in comparison to that. And then there was a couple of LB decisions where, there was a sort of murmur showing up on the real-time snicko, potentially as the ball passed the bat or not. One went the West Indies way, one went Australia's way. A couple went Australia's way, actually. There was one against Cameron Green where he survived, where it appeared that he may have got a little inside edge, which the ball was then going on to hit the stumps, and it was 3 reds. But then there was one that Pat Cummins decked back into Roston Chase, and he thought he hit it, reviewed it straight away. Adrian Holstock said that he didn't hit it, and he was given out LBW on review. So, the West Indies certainly felt aggrieved post-play. They put their coach Daren Sammy up, and he had a few choice words to say about the umpiring, just that he'd approached the match referee, trying to understand how the decisions were made and just wanting consistency, basically. So it certainly made for an interesting ending to the day, that press conference, and I'm sure it's not the last we'll hear about the umpiring in this test match.
But I just had a chat with the match referee, just trying to find some sort of understanding as to what the process is. I mean, we only hope for consistency. That's all we could ask for. Whether it's when there's doubt in something, just be consistent across the board. I've noticed, especially with this particular umpire, it's been something that's, for me, it started in England, but it's frustrating, it seems like we come up on the sharp end of the stick all the time. So I just ask for consistency in the decision making.
Yeah, so I tuned in during the final session today, Jack, and Greg Blewett, the commentator, said that Australia probably had the rub of the green in terms of those decisions. So a lucky break perhaps for the visitors. They've got a lead of 82 runs at the minute with 6 wickets remaining. Any chase of over 150, you imagine, on this pitch is going to be pretty difficult. So it is going to be very much down to the likes of Travis Head and Bo Webster. I just wanted to have a word for Bo Webster. He really looks like he belongs at Test cricket, in my opinion. I mean, he took a couple of wickets earlier in the day, like you said, and he's averaging 40 with the bat, even though he's had to play against India on a tough pitch in Sydney and then the World Test Championship final, and yet he's still producing some good numbers.
Yeah, he looks like he's ready-made for Test cricket, doesn't he? And he's catching as well. Josh, he took a good catch in the first innings. So he's just a complete cricketer. And we know this, don't we, from watching Sheffield Shield all the number of years, just how much he's dominated that competition. And now he's getting a chance to show it at international level, and he's really making the most of it. But I will say that it just takes one innings. We saw the World Test Championship final. It turned overnight on day 2, day 3. I remember we were chatting in this same post-play thing. We said Australia had enough. They're 220 in front. They had enough, and it proved not even close to enough. So I'd say the Aussies want a fair few more, and it just takes hope to kick on, or chase to kick on, and they could chase above 200. But likewise for Australia, if Webster gets going tomorrow, if Travis Head gets going tomorrow, we just know how destructive they could be. So I'm sure the Aussies will be eyeing 250, 300 lead, especially with those guys in. Alex Carey to come, and Pat Cummins can bat quite well. We saw Mitchell Starc in the World Test Championship final. Even Josh Hazlewood put in a good knock there. But so I mean, it's all to play for tomorrow. But yeah, certainly the bowlers have been on top the first 2 days.
Speaking of bowlers, why don't we talk again about Shamar Joseph? He's a terroriser of Australia, and he opened this second innings with another fantastic spell, 7 overs, 1 for 13, including the wicket of Sam Constas. Tell us about his performance again today, and just how does he keep showing up?
Well, I saw a tweet overnight that I think it might have been Andrew McGlashan again, but it was just show Shamar an Australian batting lineup, and he'll just tear it to shreds. And he's sort of done it again today, and he's done it again today. That 7 over spell was phenomenal. Like, Sam Constas was only able to manage one scoring shot off Shamar for the whole spell, and he just wore him over, and eventually got his wicket chopped on. Like, it was just that relentless pressure. 7 overs, 1 made, and 1 for 13. It really set the tone for the West Indies, second bowling innings, where they'd only managed to just scrape a lead of 10 runs. And if Australia had got away at that stage, they could have been looking at a hefty chase in the fourth innings. But they're right in this game, and a lot of it's thanks to that man Shamar Joseph, because he just sets the tone from the outset.
Almost looked like he beat Constas for pace a bit with that delivery, didn't it? Sort of tried to defend it, and it just rolled back onto his stump. So another good piece of bowling there from Shamar, and his partner in crime, Jayden Seales. Just saw that West Indies posted a little stat saying that his strike rate now in Test cricket is 37.9, which is better than your Kahiso Rabadas and the best in the world sort of thing. So much smaller sample size, of course, for Seales, but he started today with the wicket of Josh Inglis as well, where Inglis chose not to play a shot and lost his off stump.
Yeah, well, we saw one earlier in the day with Brandon King as well. He lost his off stump shouldering arms. It just proves, just how well they've bowled, where, batters are in two minds as to whether to play or whether not to play. And yeah, as we touched on yesterday, Jaden Seals has just been terrific in supporting Shamar. Like there's been no let up from either end. Whereas, as you mentioned, over the past few years, especially during the last couple of World Test Championship cycles, is that they've kind of relied on Shamar or other bowlers previously to that. But it's just from both ends now, and it's really troubling the Australians. They just can't get away at the moment.
We've asked you to keep an eye on the crowd for different sorts of kits, different sorts of people. Who have you spotted today, mate?
Well, it was Dizzy again. He's just popping up everywhere on the TV screens, isn't he? Orange shirt this time. It was blue yesterday, and I think you were able to confirm with the commentators that it was Carl Hooper's face on it, and he was sitting there chatting to Carl Hooper. So what a story that is! Like that's well done, Dizzy. That's gold.
Pictures on the cricket.com.au Instagram page if you want to check it out. But that's always nice when the focus of your shirt shows up and you can have a chat to him. Must be a bit uncomfortable for Carl though, having to go through that, I imagine. Any other funny moments today in Barbados?
Well, I mean, the Daren Sammy press conference was one of the funnier ones that I've been in. We had a good one yesterday with Jaden Seals as well, and post and pre-match with Roston Chase. So they're certainly bringing some vibe to their press conferences, these West Indian guys. But I did ask him what would they be comfortable chasing tomorrow, and he asked me back, what are they ahead now? And I said 82, and he's like, well, 82 would be good. Someone could get a double hat trick or something. So, yeah, he was certainly full of gags, Daren Sammy post-play. But, yeah, they probably want to chase as little as possible. But I think anything under 150, 200, that range they'd be comfortable with. Certainly anything above that would be a tricky chase, no doubt, considering what's happened in the first 2 days of this match.
Yeah, for sure. Now, before we get to your lunch review, Jack, we do have a question here from Devon, who got in touch at podcasts@cricket.com.au. That's where you can email in your questions or get in touch with us via the Instagram page. He says, who was Australia's best bowler on day 2? Obviously, I couldn't watch until the final session. The scorecard doesn't always tell the full story. So who was Australia's best with the ball?
Well, it was a bit of a team effort, really. We had Mitch Stark got a wicket today. He obviously got 2 yesterday. Pat Cummins and Josh Hazlewood each got a wicket today. And Bo Webster got 2. So I think probably Bo Webster, really. Like he only bowled a small number of overs while the Quicks had a bit of a break, but he made them count. So he picked up Justin Graves, caught behind, and then he got the wicket of Shai Hope, caught behind again. So that was West Indies' top scorer and meant that they couldn't kick on past Australia's total, and they could only sort of scrape to that 10 runs in front thanks to a bit of heavy hitting from Alzari Joseph at the end.
So there you go, Devon. Bo Webster, 6 overs, 2 for 20. He was Australia's best, according to Jack. And remember, if you do have a question for Jack throughout this test series, podcasts@cricket.com.au. That's the email address. You can get in touch with us. So what now, Jack? Now we get to the big question. Lunch. Did you get some, and what was it?
I did get some today. The caterers were on time today. In fairness to Kensington Oval catering staff, it's tough competition comparing it with Lords. But I got some lunch, chicken and a pasta salad, which is good. Did the job, and then a nice brownie for afternoon tea actually. So that was probably the highlight of the day. Had a nice little chocolate frosting on the top, so that sort of tickled the taste buds during the evening session.
Fantastic. Well done, Jack. Good recap, and we'll chat to you tomorrow.
Sounds good. Talk to you then, Josh.